I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Y'all, tonight is going to be a good night. Let me tell y'all something. Facebook is a hater. Okay? I want y'all to say it with me. Facebook is a hater, but that's okay. They're not going to stop my shine tonight. If you guys are on YouTube, share this live to your Facebook account and let the people know, listen, we are live tonight and we are on YouTube. I'm about to share it to my Facebook. That's what I'm doing as we speak. To let the people know that a time is going to be had. Y'all, I have a special guest here with me tonight, and we're going to talk about the creative last straw. It's so odd. It's so crazy that we're talking about that, and I'm at my last straw right now. So I'm so glad that we got BJ in the waiting room tonight to talk to us about what it means to be a creative and how we can deal with our last straw and the things that really make us want to crash out. Okay? Because free Janaya. Free Janaya. I don't know. I'm finna put some money on Janaya books or something because free her. Free her because tonight is gonna be a good night. I'm excited about it. We're gonna talk about the movie Straw. Everybody's talking about it. And so we're gonna get in on the fun. Y'all, I'm really excited because this is the first episode of the Creatives Couch. I just shared this to my Facebook. Did you do the same? Did you do the same? Did you share it to your Facebook account? I'm gonna show y'all where I shared it to mine. Share it to mine. Did you share it to yours? Share it to your Facebook. Tell everybody that's anybody that they need to get into the house tonight, y'all. So I want to tell you a little bit about the Creatives Couch and why it was birthed. I had this idea, really talking to BJ one day. So quiet as kept, BJ is my real therapist, y'all. And I know she fine. She's gonna be amazing. But let me tell y'all, she's exclusive to me. Yeah, she's not taking new clients, Bookie. I'm so sorry. She found a real one and said, you know what? I ain't got to do this no more. I got the one I want. You see what I'm saying? So BJ is my therapist. And my conversations with her were so enlightening. And she really checked me on a lot of things. And we're gonna talk about that because BJ know I'll tell her in a quick second. I feel like your attitude is really nasty. BJ, even in our session on Monday, y'all, this lady had me boo-hooing. When I say boo-hooing, I was crying like I was crying when I saw the movie Straw. I was crying real bad. And tonight we're not gonna play that, okay? So welcome to the first episode of the Creatives Couch. I am your host, Jerica Marie, and today we're talking about the small obstacles that can pile up and overwhelm us as creatives. Inspired by Tyler Perry's movie Straw, we'll dive into how these straws, the little things, can lead to burnout and how we can turn them into opportunities for growth. Okay, so the Creatives Couch is here to help you, yes, you, navigate the mental and emotional side of creativity. We're all about overcoming self-doubt, mental blocks, and the pressures that come with creating. And so I want you to drop your thoughts and share your experiences as we dig into how to face the straws that might be holding us back. Okay, so I am so excited to have BJ with us today. She is a therapist and a creative who helps creatives break through mental blocks. BJ, welcome to the Creatives Couch. Please, 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 y'all give her a warm welcome. Y'all put some fire emojis.
Hey.
Welcome my girl BJ to the chat.
Hey.
Her. Y'all, BJ is that girl. Okay, I'm here to tell y'all, BJ is that.
I would agree.
That's right.
I would agree with that. Thank you so very much.
BJ, I know that I know you, but our audience may not just yet. So share a little bit about who you are and what you've done, and why you're here with us today.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. I heard you talk about me, Jerica, too. I heard you talking about me. We'll get into that in a minute, but I am BJ Word. Yes, that is my real live last name, y'all. WORD. That's who I am. I am a professional speaker. I am a licensed psychotherapist and a wellness strategist. And that's what I do. I've been in the mental health space for about 15 years. She is correct in that I am not taking on new clients. Okay. So please don't message me. I can refer you to somebody if that's what you need. But why am I here tonight? I just thought it was a great opportunity to come and to share. I think it's a great idea that you have. And on a personal note, I'm so tired of so many of us struggling, of so many people being miserable, of so many people being upset, of so many people. I'm tired of it because why? Because why are we not living abundantly, right? Why are we not partaking of the joy that is available to us. How come? I'm about to get into it already.
Go ahead.
You know
Go
what?
ahead.
The whole Jesus had to come here and die on the whole cross just so we could sit here
Didn't
and be miserable every day and angry and upset and at our last straw. I think not. I refuse to accept that, right? And so I'm really just passionate about helping people see those roadblocks, those obstacles, helping people to see that human in the mirror. That's a lot of
yeah.
times the human that is in the way. So
Yeah.
I love, I have learned and am learning to get out of my own way. And I just love helping other people do that as well. So
Y'all, did y'all hear her already? She already throwing shots. Okay. She already throwing shots. She said the human in the mirror is the one that's in the way. Wow. Y'all, stop. Yeah. Do y'all see why she my therapist? She reads me for filth every week. Every week. Okay.
I'm not mean like that. I'm not that bad.
She's not. She's the best. So BJ, I want us to jump right into it. Y'all
Oh,
know that normally I play a game. Normally I do a little icebreaker game. This time I felt like this conversation was too full and we had so much to get to that we just need to skip the preliminaries. Me and BJ already cool. The ice already broken with us. Okay, we good. And get right into the conversation. So as I stated earlier, I'm sure if you have not seen Straw, it's fine. You can still participate in the conversation because we're going to talk in a roundabout way. Because BJ hasn't seen Straw either. BJ said, "Let me
no,
tell you
I
something.
have not.
I done seen enough straws in
Y'all
my
got
career.
that.
I don't need to. I don't need that in my life. Okay, and
Not right now.
I get it. I get it. I get it. So we're gonna jump right into the conversation. So BJ, my very first question is:
Mhm.
in Straw, the character struggles seem small at first, but they eventually become overwhelming. What do you think happens in a creative's mind when they experience the straw that broke the camel's back moment?
I love this question. Okay. And like she said, full disclaimer, y'all, I have not seen the movie. Okay. I have not seen the movie. I know the gist of what it's about. I, have gotten a brief overview, and I saw enough people saying that they cried all the way through it for me to know that that's just not what I'm looking for in my life at this present time. Okay. Shout
Right,
out to the actresses and the producers and all of that. Though they are some amazing people. I love them, but I just don't want to watch it, so I'm not.
okay.
So, but to answer that question though, you know what comes to mind when you talk about the struggles that seem small at first
Yeah.
is I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna preach tonight, but that verse, the little foxes destroy the whole vine,
Oh my god.
and in reference to the grapevine, the
Yeah.
vineyard. You know what? I grew up thinking that little meant insignificant, right? These small things that don't matter. I don't, but then when I studied it, I don't think that that's what the writer meant at all.
Right.
Because if it's insignificant, why are we talking about it, right?
Mhm.
But in that, small meaning actual small, the little fox. And the reason why this Joker destroys the vine is because he can't reach the grapes without destroying the vine.
Wow.
Okay, so a deer or what other animal that's large, a bear or whatever, they
Yeah.
can walk up, they can nibble on the fruit, and they can go on about their business. And then
Right.
something else can grow. The vine is intact. But the only way that little bitty fox can get to it is if he breaks it down to his level. Okay, now what does this have to do with us? Ah, you understand? What does this have to do with us as creatives? I think a lot of times we get to that last straw moment because we are
Yeah.
feeding things and people that are too small for us. We don't have a choice but to break ourselves down so that they can reach us. If you were walking in your purpose more, if you were saying
Yeah.
no a little bit more, if you were charging the bear and the deer and the humans, okay, that can reach the grapes, then maybe we wouldn't get to that last straw moment. But when we open up the floodgates and let all these foxes in, okay, eventually the vine gonna be destroyed in order to feed them. What does this look like as a creative? You know good and well you set your price at 2,500. You know that, creative. You know that. I'm gonna step on some toes right here. But just because, you know, well, she knows somebody that know me, and well, we used to be friends, and well, so now my price is 2,500. My work is worth 2,500. But because,
Right.
oh good God, because maybe I got a little insignificance issue going on in here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm playing small still. Maybe I got whatever. Then I break my price down to 500. And
Oh
here
God.
you go, being the main person that's getting on my nerves 18
Wow.
hours a day. and I didn't even charge you what I should have charged you, right? You're a little fox. You were never meant to eat from my vine in the first place, right? If we
Right, right.
continue to allow that, we
Yeah.
continue. And so many times as creatives, I'm gonna tell you why we do that in a minute, but so many times we continue that. You don't understand how many times I have been on my way somewhere to help somebody out with something, and I'm ticked off at how much I had to go through in order to help this person with whatever, and I wasn't getting anything in return. Right? You're not even paying for my gas. How many of these little straws am I going to take before
Right.
I break? Right? Because the truth of
Yeah.
the matter is, because you're a little fox and you weren't meant to eat from my vine in the first place, you really weren't a part of my purpose, right? God placed this on me to feed a certain group of people. When I start feeding people outside of that, I know he be scratching his head like, what are you doing? So when we feed our audience, our group, then the pressures and the obstacles and the challenges that come along with that, they belong to him because he sent you to those people. All these other little things we pick up, the problem we get into the last straw because a lot of these straws on our back are not even ours. They're not ours. They not ours.
Janelle, just take my picture off because it's so many shots. I'm getting
Don't do
hit.
that, Janelle. Don't do
Wait,
that.
Jesus, did not BJ bring the Uzi out tonight? BJ said,
Yeah.
immediately, immediately.
Immediately. Yeah.
That was so good though. That's rich
Yeah.
because I feel like as creators, we do play it small a lot,
A
right?
lot.
We
Mm-hmm.
do have some of us do, deal with insecurity issues where we feel like, oh, I have to give such and such this discount. I
Yeah.
have to do this, or I have this is what I have. When in reality, we don't have to do a doggone thing but stay
We
black
don't.
and die. That's
That's
my
it.
my daddy used to say, I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die. That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
And a lot
And
of times, y'all, the truth of the matter is, this won't be the case every time. I know God is going to put it on your heart to bless people sometimes and to just do certain things for free. But again, the pressures that come with that, that's when you have to cast your cares on him. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times people can't afford you because that's not who you're here to serve. That's not who you're here to feed. So you're going to be burdened trying to sit up here and serve Ruth Chris at McDonald's prices. You're going to be burdened.
I'm gonna head out. You
Ooh.
guys, I'm gonna leave y'all here, BJ. Y'all be blessed. One thing she's not gonna do is she's not gonna get together twice in 1 week. We're not doing that. So bye,
Mhm.
everybody.
You
Bye.
invited me. I'm going to invite you. Invited me here, man.
No, but that is so rich. That's so rich. The people cannot afford you because that's not who God has assigned you to.
Mhm.
They're not your people.
A lot of times that is the line, and
Oh my gosh.
we're talked down to so
Wow.
much, right? And it's
Yeah.
sad because a lot of times it comes from other other Christians, okay? And try to make you
Don't
think
it?
that
Don't it?
you too big for your britches or whatever because you have a certain price, but
Right.
that's the line in the sand.
Right. 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 That is BJ. Let me tell you something. If ain't nobody blessed, it's praise God. I'm blessed. You blessing me. Okay.
Girl.
Oh God. But that is so rich. Okay, so that's bringing me to my next question.
Mhm.
So we often hear that small things build up, but when it comes to creatives, how can we recognize when they build up, and what can we do mentally to kind of take control of that? When we feel
Mhm.
ourselves being like, "Oh, I'm starting to get overwhelmed," how can we mentally rein ourselves back in to
Mhm.
a place that's steady?
Mhm. So first things first, self-awareness is key, and you will hear me
Yeah,
say that over and over and over again. I've been in
yeah,
this field for, like I said, over 15 years, and even before that, I was doing things in the mental health space, and so few people have actual self-awareness. Okay,
yeah,
a lot of times we can become self-absorbed, but we're not self-aware. So, in other words, we're not checking in with ourselves. We're not paying attention to ourselves. We're not stopping long enough to figure out why we feel how we feel, right?
yeah,
And so, just I love to use myself an example as an example. Yesterday I
Mm-hmm.
woke up, I was in a bad mood. I was in a bad mood from the moment I woke up. Okay. And that was my sign. What okay, BJ, what's going on?
Right.
Let's do a check here, right? Let's do a self-check because this is not your normal mood. Why do you feel like this? Right? Well, your sleep was broken. That's why. And when somebody breaks my sleep, it's gonna take me. I'm one of those people. It's gonna take a long time to get back to sleep.
Right.
And I was irritated because my sleep was broken, and it didn't have to be. It wasn't necessary. Had the person just listened to me, they wouldn't have to wake me up in the middle of the night. And so that irritated me, right?
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I had to say to myself, all right, what am I going to do to get out of this funk? I'm not going to just jump up because
Yeah.
that's what a lot of us do. We just jump up and we just
Yeah.
got to
For
keep it
sure.
moving. All right. And
Yeah.
y'all, it does not take all day, 5, 10 minutes. What are you
Yeah.
going to do for yourself? The first thing I said was, okay, Jesus, come on. Come on. I need you to come on right now because I don't want to get out of the bed with this attitude. I
Right.
really
Right.
don't. Again, somebody else's straw, right? This was somebody else's straw because that's what
Mhm.
woke me up in the middle of the night to come help them, and I did it.
Hello.
Right?
Hello.
Hello. So then I had to think about, okay, what do I enjoy? What do I like? Right? And sometimes y'all,
Right.
it's a simple. Therapists tell y'all this stuff all the time. Y'all don't like to listen.
Oh.
Grounding is real. It is real.
Yeah.
It is a real thing. Take yourself outside in your backyard for just a couple of minutes with your shoes off and walk around in the grass. Go outside and let the sun hit your skin.
Yeah.
Go outside and touch a tree. Why? Because there is so much fake stuff or man-made stuff all around us. Sometimes you need to get in direct contact with something that Lord made. Okay. That is nothing between you and what he made. All right. It's
Mhm.
a power source. It really is. And so I did that. Right. I took some other steps. I meditated for a while. Right. I went
Mhm.
ahead and worked out. Right. But while I'm doing this,
Mhm.
my emails weren't stopping. The notifications weren't stopping. The,
Yeah.
the text messages weren't stopping.
Right.
I had to have enough faith and courage and absence of fear to not answer those things so that I could tend to myself. And a lot of times as creatives, we don't do that. We don't stop the thing. We always thinking we're gonna miss something. What if this is the moment I could go viral? I'm over here meditating, or what if this is the moment that this could happen and I'm over here praying? Listen, you must learn how to take care of yourself. And if you
Yeah.
miss a moment because you're tending to yourself, then that was not your moment. So I would just say be self-aware. Like
Yeah.
check yourself, right? BJ has a 3 straw maximum at this point because I'm not getting to no last straw. I'm not. Why
Yeah.
should I? Like I need to understand straw number 1 and 2. And when I get to that third one, it's a wrap. I'm about to pull
Right.
back.
Right. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. So I was on a podcast yesterday. Shout out to Camille Essick. And one of the questions that she asked me was about kind of time management and things like that. And I'm going to ask you this question, BJ. So as a creative, I'll be honest with myself. I don't really sleep a lot.
Mm,
I go to bed. Literally, the sun is coming up, and I'll go to bed, and then I'll wake up at like 9.
mm,
And then I may nap during the day, but then my day starts, right? I gotta work, I gotta tend to my mom, I gotta do other things, da, 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 whatever. So I don't really sleep a lot. And the reason I don't sleep a lot, and it's sometimes I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? I am an intercessor. I really am. But it's so hard for me to get into prayer. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. This mind of mine, it's always running. It's always thinking of the next thing. And I'll be praying, oh Lord, I just thank you. Talking in tongues. Pray in there for real. And next thing I know, I'm at my computer designing something. And I'll be like, wait a minute. Wasn't I praying? You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
it,
mhm.
it's my mind just constantly runs. So what advice would you give for a person that's saying, okay, you're telling me meditate, do these things, but as a creative, it's hard for me to shut my mind off. How do you
Mhm,
encourage them
mhm.
to shut their mind off?
I don't know that you necessarily need to shut it off. I think you need to focus it in on something more peaceful. It
Mm,
is it
okay.
is almost impossible to make your mind go blank, right?
Yeah,
But what you
yeah,
can do is focus it in on more peaceful places. So it's
right.
something that we call guided imagery, and I do it a lot. And I just have this space in my head where, me and the Lord Jesus, we go there and we sitting beside a stream with some fishing poles in the water. I have never been fishing a day in my real life, but that's just my that's just my peaceful place. We never catch
Yes.
anything. We don't talk to each other. We just sit there leaning against some big old rocks with our fishing poles in the water. And so I'm focusing in on that thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that helps everything else to silence out by default. I have another space I go, well, honey, he just carrying me. He is carrying me walking down the beach. All right. So like I don't know that we shut it off, more
Yeah.
so focusing in on something else,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
another thing about our the way our brains work is that, at nighttime, I challenge people and I ask them, what are you doing before you're trying to sleep? What are you doing? Are you doing anything to let your systems know that it's time to shut this down? Are
No.
you working in the same place where you're supposed to be sleeping? Are you, if you notice, if you ever go shopping somewhere, those people
Yeah.
do not have to come over the intercom and tell you that the store's about to close. You'll have signs, right? The lights will
Flickering the
start
light.
going dim.
Yeah.
They'll lock the door. You're gonna hear a vacuum running. The music is gonna shut off, right?
Right. Right.
Then you're gonna hear somebody counting out a register really, really loudly, right? Like, ma'am, y'all didn't bring in
Yeah.
that many
All
coins
the
today.
chains is dumping
All
it
the
out.
changes, ma'am, y'all did not bring in that much change today. Those are all
Right.
signs to let you know we're about to wrap this up. And
Yeah.
so we have to do the same thing with our actual brains, right?
Mhm.
Not just your
Yeah.
mind, your brain. Your brain and your mind are different. We need to let our body and our brain know we're about to shut this down. So, what are you doing? Are you sitting there
Yeah.
with your device in your hand the whole entire time and then you expect to just put it down
Mhm.
and go to sleep? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Especially if you got ADHD like me, that is not how that works.
Right.
Not.
Right.
So I have to try to put this thing over to the side, an hour or so before I want to go to sleep. I have to try to
Yeah.
turn the lights off. I can't
Yeah.
sit up with the TV on, right? I might drink some chamomile tea. I might read a book, something to let all of me know, hey, honey, we're not about to sit up and do this all night long, right?
Yeah.
And then, for people like you were saying, you will get up and then start doing something. You're always thinking about designing something. This is why creators have a hard time saying no to, is because
Yeah.
we always have an idea. There's always an idea coming up in our head. And so one thing that you can try to do is dump it out. Do a brain dump. Journal. Write until your hand can't write anymore. Set a timer. When that timer goes off, that's it. And you have to trust that
Yeah.
things can wait. And you may have to start reminding yourself.
Ooh, she just said a cuss word all the time. Trust that things can wait.
Trust
Wow.
that things can wait. You may have to remind yourself of that over and over. I want everybody watching this to remember that the things that we think them over. We've rehearsed it. We have rehearsed it. We have rehearsed it. And if you grew up in a do it right now home, okay.
Yeah.
If you grew up with one of them people that act like the dish, Lord, I'm about to step on some toes, but the dishes got to be washed at the crack of dawn on a Saturday. We have to clean up now. Why, ma'am? That is your anxiety. It's okay for people to sleep in, right? But it creates this urgency, like you always got to be doing something, and it always has to be right now. And so you have to unlearn that and reprogram your mind. Like, it's okay to wait.
It's
It's all
okay.
right. I used to wake up in, because I struggled in the past with severe panic attacks, anxiety disorder, and I would wake up just already with 15 things going on in my head. And I had to start talking myself down. Like, BJ, it's all right. You don't have to do all those things right now. It's okay. It
I
can
mean,
wait.
wow.
Yeah.
And I think what you said is just pivotal. Like creatives, we have to get to it. Really can't wait. The client
Mm-hmm.
wait. The they calling at 3 a.m. But I have to. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Wait. That can wait. It all can wait. It
It
all.
all can.
We be rushing this. Okay, I'm about to go far, but I'm gonna say what I because who gonna check me, boo? This is my show. We
Mm-hmm.
be rushing to do these stuff for these clients, but nobody show up. It don't matter. It can
Doesn't
wait.
matter.
Everybody calm down and be cool.
Calm
Okay.
down, calm down. And we rushing and we doing stuff for people again that's not even that weren't even meant. They're not even supposed to be attached
They
to us in the
not
first place.
supposed. Oh God,
And you
BJ.
rushing and
Oh
they become your most annoying people are the people that you were not even assigned to help. And then there you
no.
go. And it all can wait. And if you don't believe that, keep on going and crack up and lose your mind or lose your health and see won't they keep on going without you.
Ooh, they'll find somebody else in a heartbeat, won't they?
They will. They will.
So, BJ, let's turn the corner here a little bit. In
Mhm.
Straw, the character has to confront their burden before it breaks them. How can creators confront their mental blocks or obstacles instead of letting them accumulate to a breaking point? You kind of talked about that a little bit, but what are some ways that, or what are some more steps that they can take, some structure that they can put in their life to keep them from even getting to the point where they're overwhelmed? Grounding, I know you talked
Let's
about
talk.
grounding.
Yes, let's talk about the V word. This is
Oh, God.
Jerica's favorite word. It's vulnerability, right?
Woo! Oh God, I got sick just thinking about it.
That is so huge. And vulnerability is not transparency either. They're different. So I think in order to keep yourself in a healthy space
Hmm.
and confronting your mental blocks, you've got to be
Yeah,
both. You need to find
yeah.
a safe space, and it is not social media. Okay, you need to find a safe space to be.
Right.
It's not that. It's not a social media is not a safe space for your emotions. Okay, you need to find a safe space to be vulnerable and to be transparent about what you're experiencing, right? If that's your best friend's place, if that's your stylist, if that's your therapist's office, that's what I prefer because that person is bound by law to keep your secrets, right? But I think too many times
Yeah.
creatives get real creative with handling the struggle. We get real creative in pushing past the struggle. We're creatives, right? So
Yeah.
we don't acknowledge it. We don't acknowledge it because and here's another thing. Who when you are made this way, right? I truly believe that when you are everybody has some creativity, but when you are made as someone who shares their art, whatever that may be, with the world, I believe when we're sharing that, that is literally God expressing himself through that individual, right? I absolutely believe that. And here's the thing, people want it all the time. All the time.
Lord have
It doesn't
mercy.
matter if you're sick, if you have a headache, if
They
you
don't care nothing
they
about
want
it.
it.
They don't care nothing about it.
They
Yeah.
don't, they don't want it. Somebody said we try to push past them struggle because bills are due. And that's a fact right there. Bills are absolutely
Yeah.
due, but that's where that trust word comes in again at, you gotta have you have to trust that you are gonna be taken care of, right? And you have to do both. You have to find ways. There are lots of times when I have shown up for a therapy session because the bills were due and I had to compartmentalize what I was going through, right? Maybe just
Hmm.
5 or 10 minutes before that session. You do that long enough, and somewhere, somehow, the narrative will become in your mind that nobody cares about you as a person. They just want the flyers made. They just want the therapy session. They just want to feel better themselves. They just want you to show up and sing. They just want you to show up and preach. They just want you to show up and do spoken word. They just want you to come on the podcast. They don't care about you as an individual. And the truth of the matter is, the consumer really doesn't necessarily care about your emotions, boo boo. They don't. That individual doesn't. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. I usually ask somebody, you know, well, how is the CEO of Chick-fil-A doing? Are they all right today? Give me my fries. You know what I'm saying? Or when
Yeah.
I'm going through the drive-thru, I might be like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Please don't start pouring out your heart to me because again, I just want my fries and my nuggets. That's what
Right.
I'm here to get my needs met right now. Take my money, give me my food, right? They don't
Right.
have to care. Boom. Absolutely. They do not. But you want to be careful because you don't want that to translate into the message that you as a person do not matter because that right there is a lie. right? And so it is learning to separate what
Wow,
you
wow.
do, what you give to the world from who you are, right? And knowing that with or without that, you make a huge difference. So I always challenge people who give so much, especially art, find spaces where you can go, where you make a difference, where you don't have to give a doggone thing, where nobody's asking you to come. Sit in some crowds where nobody knows you, where nobody knows you make flyers. Don't have to post it on social media, right? I don't
Barely.
walk around, y'all. I am a Disney fanatic. Okay, judge your mama. I'm a Disney.
DJ, what? Why have you been told me that? Okay, go ahead.
I go every year, at least once a year, solo. I don't walk around in there telling people I'm a therapist. I'm a therapist when I meet folks. I'm just a random person walking through this park,
Right.
and somebody can be, oh, they're having a mental health issue. Security, the lady over here in the red, you come help
They need
her. Okay, they need help, right? Because I'm just a human taking up space, right? And
Yeah.
I think as creatives, we're so pulled on all the time that we don't take the time for ourselves to be vulnerable, to be transparent with somebody, to say even to ourselves, I don't feel like showing up today, right? And to just give ourselves those moments where we can be out in the world just existing and not have somebody pulling on you, um, because those individuals don't necessarily hate you, right? But they don't have the space to care. They coming to you because they trying to get their project off the ground.
right. Y'all, do y'all see why she my therapist? Does anybody see? I want y'all to put in the comments. Do y'all see why this lady is my therapist? BJ, she
You
just
do the work though. You do
good.
the work.
She's good. So her and I'll be honest with y'all. In our therapy sessions, we've been working on. Whew, I'm about to get sick. We've been working on vulnerability. And in our last session, I'll let y'all in just a little bit. I'm not gonna tell y'all all my business, but I'm gonna let y'all in a little bit. We talked about a certain issue that I've been dealing with, and she encouraged me to be a bit vulnerable. And I feel like she just gave me the open door to do so. So we talk about straws and we talk about burdens and frustrations and different things like that. So I'll be honest with you, and it's gonna kind of lead into the straw scenario. I watched that movie and saw myself in Janiyah. So
Mm,
about 2022, so what is it, 3 years ago? Not quite. In November of 2022, I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta, bright-eyed, bushy tail. It was my dream place because I'm originally from Georgia, and it gave me the city vibes, but I was still close to family. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, my life is just going to skyrocket when I get there. I was living in Alabama and I was doing pretty well. And when I first got to Atlanta, when I stepped into Georgia again, my eyes left. They stayed in Alabama, apparently. They
mm,
didn't want. And I started having vision issues. And I deal with it. And here recently, people will say, "Oh, Jerry, why we don't see your eyes? Or why you always squinting? Or why da 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 da? Where your glasses? Da, da, da." But what they don't know is that I'm really dealing with an issue, and it caused me to be really insecure, specifically as a designer. And to the
mm,
point to where now with with these lives and people are seeing my work and people are DMing me and I'm getting jobs and calls from people that could really change my life. It kind of made me kind of like, I don't know, like it made me uncomfortable, right? Because I was like, people don't know I'm designing this stuff and cannot see. Like I can't see y'all. It ain't a trick. It ain't a scam. It's real life. I'm calling friends like Jared and Janelle. I'm like, does this look right? Like, did I miss anything? Because I can't see what I'm doing. Um, and that vulnerability, I think, especially in a space like this, makes you feel free in a sense,
mhm,
because how many other designers you may can see, but how many other
mhm,
designers deal with burdens or struggles or obstacles that they deal with in their design process where they feel like, I don't know, right? And I will say that in talking with BJ and talking through vulnerability and talking to my friends and close family, it has taught me that vulnerability is necessary, y'all. We can't walk around like little juggernauts. I was walking around like a little juggernaut, like, I'm Jericho, hear me roar, bother me, nothing. And that's not healthy. And I
mm,
feel like in Jania's case, when I looked at the movie, she said when the police were asking the coworker about her, she was like, Jania don't talk to nobody.
Mm.
Jania, she's sweet. Da, da, da. She got a lot going on. Her daughter said, da, da. She don't talk to nobody. Imagine how better Jania's life would have been if she just would have shared what she was going through, right? Somebody could have caught her before she got to,
Mm, 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 mm,
she
mm,
pulled up to that bank trying to cash that check, honey. It would have went a little bit better for her. And I don't want us as designers, that's why this space was created. Like
mm,
BJ said, we do need a space where we don't have to produce. We don't have
mhm,
to, we don't got to be creative. We can just,
mhm,
that's why this space was created. And I
mhm,
feel like that vulnerability piece is something that as a society we are missing because
mhm, mhm,
everybody want to be unbothered.
mhm.
It's just unrealistic. The Lord
Totally.
gave us emotions for a reason. God, right, has emotions.
Yep.
Jesus had him. Do y'all didn't read y'all Bible when Jesus tore that temple up, did y'all? Y'all
Mhm.
Jesus tore that temple snap up because they had pissed him off. They had pissed him off now. And he said, you know what, I'm sick of y'all. Okay? So I just feel like we need to really accept our emotions and we need to do a better job of checking ourselves and say, I'm getting a little too far and I need
Mhm,
to talk to somebody who can kind of bring me back to center or
mhm,
who I can just unload on, who I
mhm,
can just
mhm,
share with. Because sometimes a me too, they may not have the money to pay that bill for you. They may not have the
mhm,
resources to get you what you need. But sometimes just somebody saying, girl or big dog, me too. I was
yeah.
just last week or last month or whatever, and this is how I'm dealing with it. And I think it'll help you too. Or somebody could say, listen, I may not know what you're going through, but I'm one call away. Anytime you need me, I'm gonna be right there for you.
Mhm,
That means so much, y'all. And we have got to get to that place because I truly believe that if Janiyah would have done that, she wouldn't have gotten to the place that she got to. She wouldn't have had the mental break that she did if she would have just had a little bit of help. So let's look at the comments. We
Can I
have
can I respond to that real quick? Just
oh
real quick.
Lord,
So
let me
again,
tell
I
you something.
have
Let me tell you something.
listen.
When
I
DJ tone
love
change, I get nervous.
no,
Go ahead.
no. I love everything you said. I have again haven't seen the movie. I hate the fact that we have been pushed into this box as a
Yeah,
people, especially Black people,
yeah,
where we don't ask for help. We won't ask for help, right?
absolutely.
Y'all, let me just go here real quick. Us not asking for help, that is a message that was ingrained in us off of Master's Plantation. We need to take it back and leave it there, okay? Because that's not what our ancestors do. If you ever get a chance to visit the motherland, they'll tell you that firsthand. Like that idea of continue going no matter what. I don't care if you get sick,
Yeah,
you don't show any sickness, you don't show any weakness. That was a survival instinct because if they showed it, they would be killed immediately. Like that's the weakest link. Leave them here. We can't sell that one. Just throw them off the boat, right? We
yeah,
need to ditch that. That has been
yeah,
ingrained in us so much. Okay, and you talked about Jesus and what he did, but he had help. The first thing he walked around collecting people. You, I need you to come with me. You come with me. You over here, come with me. Y'all two, come in here with me, right?
yeah,
So he had folks around him, and a lot of times I believe, especially because people look to you so much. I get this a lot as a therapist. People sometimes think I'm Yoda. Honey, I'm not. I'm a human being. Okay. So because people lean on you so much as a designer, as an entrepreneur, you can have decision fatigue. Honey, if you the head of the company, you're a solopreneur, you got to make all the decisions all the time, right? And it can put you into this mind space where you start to think of yourself as I should know this. I should be able to do this on my own. I'm supposed to be able to handle this all by myself. And you think that your needing help has something to do with you.
yeah,
And it doesn't. Your need for help has something to do with the load that you're carrying, boo boo. You understand that? It has everything to do with the weight of what you are trying to carry. Okay? When you look through the Bible, when the people had stuff to do that was heavy, honey, they had somebody there to help them. Okay? Moses' father-in-law told him, you need to get you some help. You gonna be out here all day long. These folks gonna drain you and drive you crazy. You need to get some help.
right.
Right? And so I want everybody to really just, if you don't take anything else with you, take that with you. If you
Yeah,
are somebody that can run a 15-minute mile, okay, you jog 15-minute mile and you're pretty good at that, baby. If you break your leg, and then I give you a 20-pound weight, you're not gonna be able to run as fast. You might have to get somebody that you can lean on. It's not about you, it's about the weight that you're trying to carry. All right. So I want you to look around at all the things you got going on and just ask yourself, do I need to ask somebody to help me? Because people are willing to. If you've sown seeds in the ground, if you've helped other people, then by God's law, there is somebody who is willing to help you. You just may not be the
Yeah.
person that you've helped. All right. So yeah,
Now
that's
that
it.
is the thing. That is the thing, BJ. That last, like, first of all, everything that you said was amazing. But that last line, that's the thing. And I think as creators, we do get frustrated. And it goes back to the beginning when BJ said, talked about the foxes and how the foxes tear up the vines because that's what's on their level. That's what they can reach, right? To get to where they're trying to go. I feel like sometimes as creators, we pour so much into people that sometimes we look for them to pour back into us sometimes. And that never happens a lot.
You
That don't
reap what you sow. You reap what you sow, not
happen.
necessarily where you sow.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
many times, just an example, if you are always loaning a certain person
Yeah.
money, then if you need some money, why would you go to the person that you always loan money to? Boo boo, they not good with money. That's why they
Okay.
ain't got it. So you might have to go somewhere and reap in a field where you haven't sown. If I'm just being honest, some of
Ooh.
the things that God has blessed me with into my life over the last couple of years with this burdens that I've had to carry, it's been by people I've never done anything for. Okay, but I had to be willing to say yes. I do need some help, or to ask somebody that has it, can you help me, even if I've never helped that person? See, we get a little bit bitter and a little bit resentful when we go back and we ask that same person we've been helping for the same help that we now need. But honey, if they had it, they wouldn't always be asking you for yours. Okay, so just think that through.
Jesus, y'all, BJ, what's your cash out? I'm
I'm
gonna put
done.
it up on the screen. They need to know.
uh y'all
Cash
should.
app up. It's time. It's time. If our hearts and minds are clear, we're gonna ask y'all to stand. We're gonna give BJ a love offering. Cause she is talking so good tonight, y'all. She is talking good tonight. Let me tell y'all something. If you trying to reap where you sow, and then folk don't have it, that's why they're asking you for it.
For
So how you
yours.
gonna turn around and ask them for what they ain't got?
They don't
And
have
not
it,
you
honey.
mad because they didn't give it, Jerica. Okay, BJ. Dang, twice in 1 week is
Right.
crazy. Twice in 1 week is wild. That's
They
crazy.
ain't got it.
Y'all, BJ is so
I
good.
keep
So
her
listen,
kids all the time. I ask her to keep my kids. This is an example I got, girl. I keep her kids all the time. All I always keep her kids. I turn around and ask her to keep my kids. One time she can't do it. She can't manage her household, boo boo. That's why she always asking you to keep her kids. Now you gonna turn around and ask somebody who can't manage their stuff to help you manage your stuff? She leaning on you. Now you
Jesus.
need to find somebody you can lean on. Okay, I'm done with it. Beverly Word. That's my cash app. $ Beverly Word.
Y'all, do y'all understand? Do y'all see why she my therapist? I keep saying that, but do y'all see why she my therapist? The girl is good. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
enjoying
So listen,
myself
BJ,
tonight.
as we come to a
Yes.
close, y'all, we're about to go into our Ask BJ segment. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We're going to ask BJ before she leaves. So I'm gonna give you some time to do that. If you need to submit your questions anonymously, Janelle, if you can put up that Ask BJ lower third, you can scan the QR code and submit the form, and you can anonymously ask her the question. If we do not get to the question today, fret not. We will circle back around the next live. So we'll come back to it. But the question that I have while we're waiting on them to ask theirs, BJ, what's your advice for someone who feels like their straw has just broken them and they're struggling to get back into the creative flow? How can they rebuild and then keep going?
I think depending on what that means, your straw has just broken, you know, I don't mean this in a rude way, but please, if you need professional help, get it. Okay. I meant to say that at the beginning. If you depending on where you are, there's no shame in getting some professional help from a
Yeah.
licensed therapist. Please stop just listening to these podcasts. These people don't have no letters behind their name. And then you go sit up here and take what they say is law. Okay. So this is just my tip. If you are struggling in a deep way, right? You have any kind of thoughts of self-harm or harming somebody else or any of
Yeah.
that, you definitely want to seek professional help. The next thing that I would say, and this is something that we rarely do, take the time to create for yourself. You don't have to worry right now about trying to build something, right? If you are creative, just let that flow for you for a minute. And it's going to come back to you because God is invested in it coming through you.
Yeah.
He's invested, right?
Yeah.
And he does not invest in things that fail. Okay. His investment is always going to return. So I would definitely say give yourself some grace for where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
And give yourself the opportunity, give some mercy. Don't judge
Right.
yourself for where you are. And if
Woo.
you are a writer, you are a designer, you are a speaker, just allow yourself to get up and do that for you, right? Go do it. Sit at the river if you can. If you got a lake you sit by, go wherever. Just do it for you. You don't have to share everything. All right. And when you start to build again, y'all ain't gonna like this part right here. Put some
Lord,
stuff out
Lord.
there that's imperfect just
Yeah.
so you can start to get your feet wet again. You
Yeah.
understand? Just
Right.
release some stuff. Put the post out there. Okay, we spend too much time worrying about the opinions of these other air breathing humans out here. Okay, these people they breathe air just like you. They
Yeah.
not they don't have more power than you. So I would just say those steps in that order. If you need professional help, get it. And then I would say definitely give yourself all the grace and all the mercy that you need in the world and take as much time as you need. Don't think about necessarily building right now. It's okay to find another job that you just, if you just need money to come in. Okay. It's hard to be pressured to create so that you can eat. That is difficult. So if you need to get help or if you need to just and go do DoorDash or Uber or something to give yourself a brain break, and in the meantime, let yourself just create just for you. And then when you start
Ooh, that's
building
good.
again, don't be perfect at it.
Yeah. Wow, I think that's good. So we do have a question from our Ask BJ segment. It says, I struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. Even when I have success, I still feel like I'm not good enough or don't deserve it. How can I shift my mindset and start truly believing in my abilities as a creative?
I love this question. You know how I feel about that good old imposter syndrome. First of all, let's break that down. You're scared. Okay. I love that we have come up with these great words like imposter syndrome and perfectionism and procrastinating. A lot of times you're just afraid. Okay. So we need to sit with ourselves long enough to ask, what am I really afraid of? Right? What's happening on the inside of me? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I challenged a certain young lady with this, and I won't say who she is, but I challenged her because we talked about the imposter syndrome. And I said, what are you comparing yourself to?
Yeah.
I don't really think I'm comparing myself to anyone. Da, 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 da. There is a model in your head, whether it's somebody you see out there or somebody that's up here that you are comparing yourself to say,
Yeah.
I'm not enough. That over there is, right? Because the thing is, this is your opinion.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't think I deserve it. That is your opinion. That is
Wow.
you having a low opinion of yourself. Okay. What are you using to measure that you don't deserve it or that it's not good enough? Is your ruler off? Does it need to be recalibrated? Because I spent a whole lot of time in my life, oh my God, judging myself and by other people's approval, right? Namely my mama. When I was able to let that go and say, boo boo, I am who God says I am with or without your approval. So I'm just gonna put this out here. The imposter syndrome started to die down, right? And the last thing I could go, this could be a whole episode because I could go on about this, but
Oh, let me take my notes.
the last thing I would say about that is you do it afraid, right? Even if you feel the imposter syndrome, even if you feel like you don't deserve it, show up anyway and start telling yourself something else. That I don't think I deserve it. I'm not worthy enough. This isn't good enough. That is something that you are rehearsing. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to start rehearsing something else. I challenge somebody to do some affirmations that scared them. Say some stuff out loud about you that
Yeah.
makes you a little bit nervous. Say it to
Yep.
yourself first, right? I used to cringe at the thought of saying that I am a mental health expert. You know why? Because in my head, those people over there are the experts. I'm just here, just giving my, just trying to share the knowledge that I have. No, 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 honey. I've been in this for a while, and I'm gonna say I'm a mental health expert, even if I don't believe it. Sometimes I'm gonna keep on saying it, okay? Because faith comes by hearing and hearing, and we have been hearing and hearing and hearing the things that are negative in there, and we're using to tear ourselves down. So you need to reframe and change your narrative about you. Okay.
Y'all, so I have a question. I have a question. Who in the comments think that BJ is mental health expert? By a show of comments. Who in the comments believe it? Because I believe all of us know for a that you are a mental health expert. Because the way you done showed out on here tonight, this is the first line where I haven't really talked. It's because BJ has been shooting us all down since the beginning. This she is good. She is good. Okay, so someone says I often feel overwhelmed by all the responsibilities, and this is our last question tonight. Again, if you submitted your question, I haven't gotten to it. Please don't fret. We'll get to it next time with her. But I often feel overwhelmed by all the responsibilities I have as a creative entrepreneur. I'm constantly juggling multiple projects, and it feels like one small setback can throw everything off. How can I manage the pressure and stay focused without feeling like I'm always on the edge of burnout? Jesus.
That is such a loaded question. But I do want to speak to, there was some specific words that you said. Read that again because I want to say exactly what that person said.
I often feel overwhelmed by all the responsibilities I have as a creative entrepreneur. I'm
Okay.
constantly feeling multiple. Oh, you want me to finish?
No, you can stop right there. Constantly juggling multiple things and on the edge of burnout as a creative entrepreneur. I want to validate this individual, whoever said that, because the truth of the matter is that is the reality of entrepreneurship. It's a harsh reality. It
Yeah.
is, it is what it is, right? There are times, especially as a solopreneur, that you are going to feel that, right?
Yeah.
And I meant to say this earlier. I don't want any of us. I had so many people who would come to me in therapy thinking I need to get to a point where I never feel this particular way again. Well,
Yeah.
honey, then you're gonna have to die for that, right? Like there are going to be
Yeah.
moments, and that doesn't speak to something being wrong with you. It speaks to all of the things that you have going on. So
Yeah.
in those moments where you do feel like I'm about to burn out, or where you do feel like this is too much, I'm overwhelmed, about to bang my head against the wall, give yourself some grace for feeling like that, because that is part of this journey. It's just part
Yeah.
of the journey, right? I would absolutely say, if there are things that can come off of your plate, take them off, right? And let me tell you this: fear, perfectionism, gotta do it right now, imposter syndrome, all of those are things that you can work to take off your plate, boo. Okay? Because that's not helping. That's not helping your clarity at all. So let's get rid of that. Okay? Do the work to get rid of those things. If there are tangible things that you can take off your plate, take it off your plate. Okay, let me give you just some examples. You know, I don't really fold towels that much anymore. If they are washed and dried, they probably gonna sit over there in a pile until I get to it. And I don't judge myself for that because I know what I have going on, but that's some time that I don't have to take, right? And I
Yeah.
have to, I just can't leave it like that. Yes, you actually can. It's your house and you're an adult, right? So if you can step over some things, okay. If the bed had to go unmade a little bit, if you got to eat off paper plates and plastic cups right now because you just don't have time to keep on washing dishes because
Me,
you're trying to
because
build
I'm not
something,
doing that. I got too much going
right?
on.
You know, take what you can off of your plate. And sometimes, we're feeling like we having a mental health crisis, and the truth of the matter is your plate is just too full. And if your plate's too full, something's gonna fall. So if I would have to I'm not going to talk to this person one on one, but somebody would need to talk to you one on one to kind of go through that with you. And maybe whoever's asking this question can go through it themselves to ask, are there things that I can turn off? You know,
Yeah.
things that I can't. I don't, y'all, in this season in my life, this is going to sound crazy. I don't just do something just because it makes sense.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
it has to be attached to my purpose.
Jesus.
It has to be. I'm not gonna just, oh Lord, help you down to the church because the church need help and it makes sense for me to do it and because I can. All right. You're a creative. You probably can flourish in any space that you go into. Find the spaces that are for you, right? And don't be afraid to change your mind and say, you know what, I started 4 businesses and I need to close this one over here. That's not failure. That's just you going in a different direction. So to just kind of make this concise and answer that question, look at all of the things that you have going on. First of all, acknowledge that it is okay for you to feel like that because that's part of entrepreneurship. Gonna feel crappy sometimes, but
Yeah.
look at all of the things that you have going on. Ask yourself, what are the things that I have signed up for and what are the things that I really need to do, not what I think I need to do, right? And then try to just hone in and focus on those things and just be intentional about your self care. Creatives, it must happen every day, pumpkin pie. Okay. Self care is not something that you're going to be able to do once a week. It's
Yeah.
not something you're going to be able to do on vacation. You must take 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, for yourself every
Yeah.
day. So let's get started on that. And in
Okay.
all things, remember your why.
Yeah.
Remember why you started in the first place. And if your why doesn't add up, then it's okay to change.
Yes. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but BJ has been just on fire, y'all. This is why I'm gonna make sure that BJ money is put to the side every month. Absolutely, BJ gonna get that. If don't nobody else get no money from me, BJ gonna get that money every week. Okay, y'all. BJ is amazing, and I'm super excited that you guys have gotten a chance to get to know her and hear her wisdom. She shared some nuggets tonight from the start with half the time, if the people cannot afford you, then maybe they are not your people. And sometimes we get frustrated because we dull ourselves down to accommodate people that aren't our people.
Mm-hmm.
And now we mad because you done gave somebody who they ain't supposed to be over there with you a discount, and now they come to your life raising hell. That's your fault. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we started with that. We moved over into realizing that we have to we gotta have a limit with our straws before we
Mm-hmm.
pull the next straw. We have to have some checkpoints in place and some places where we can check ourselves to keep ourselves from getting to that ledge or
Mm-hmm.
that place. All the way down, y'all, to vulnerability and how it's so impactful and can really help us to navigate this journey as a creative. Because y'all, I say this all the time. I said it last night. Hey, Camille, I see you in the comments. I said it last night on Camille Essex podcast. Make sure you guys go look at that. Our mind is our tool. You might be a photographer, you might be a graphic designer, you might be an actor, a singer, whatever you are. Your mind is your tool, and we have to protect this at all costs. That means putting boundaries in place, saying no, telling people they can wait, telling ourselves it can wait. We have
Mm-hmm.
we have to put things in place. Grounding is something that BJ talked about earlier. Doing some things if we need to go out and take a walk, DoorDash,
Mm-hmm.
whatever we need to do, watch a movie. It don't matter. We've got to protect this at all costs, and that's really why the Creators Couch is here. So BJ has done an amazing job. Before you go, BJ, I want you to tell the people how can they follow you, connect with you, and see what you have coming.
Yes, absolutely. I am BJ Word on all of the platforms, pretty much. I don't go down to the TikTok too much where the children are. I plan to get over there soon. But I am BJ Word, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So follow me. I have enjoyed tonight very, very much. This has been amazing. I don't feel drained. Hear me, creatives, because tonight I have not poured. I was full already, and then I just let the overflow onto other people. I
Jesus.
didn't have to pour, creative. You hear that, creative? So that means I need for us to find places where we can be full, right? And then you won't have to pour, and you don't ever have to worry about being drained. I feel just as energized as I did when this live started. Actually, more energized. So thank you all. Thank you for listening.
Did y'all hear what this lady said? She can't just get off without just throwing a bomb, a grenade on us all. She said she does not feel empty because she did not pour from her cup and what she needed. She poured from her overflow. Jesus. BJ,
Yeah,
your attitude is very
it's
nasty.
awful. It's just rude. Just rude.
Oh my gosh, y'all. This is why I love her so much and why BJ is not getting listen. I know she said that she retiring from the therapy, but guess who going with her? This girl. Guess who she ain't getting rid of? This girl, baby, you stuck like Chuck, honey. You stuck like Chuck to me. Y'all, I'm super excited. I hope you guys were encouraged. Make sure that if you have not done so, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook. I see that you're finally in the place. Thank you so much, y'all. Let's give a round of applause for Janelle in the background, J. Albert
Thank you,
Cruz,
Janelle.
J. Albert Creative Agency, excuse me. She is in the background running my backstage, and I'm so grateful for her. She troubleshooted while we were talking and got the Facebook up and running, and I'm very grateful for you. So thank you, Janelle, so much. Y'all, I am so excited. Y'all, do y'all think we need to bring BJ back? What y'all think? Y'all think she'll get it? Because I think my girl solidified the spot tonight. Yes, she did. Yes, she
I
did.
enjoyed
My girl
every
came
minute
through
of
and
it.
she said, let me tell you something. I told her, I said, I want to do something, and I feel like you are the Iyanla to my Oprah. And y'all, she showed up tonight and did just that. She
Thank
did
you.
just that. And I'm so
Thank
so excited. So if you enjoyed today's live, be sure to follow the Creatives Couch on Facebook or on subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow me, Jerica Marie, on Instagram and Facebook, and feel free to reach out on social media. Until next time, keep navigating your creative journey and creating with confidence. Love y'all. Talk to y'all next
you.
week. Oh,
Bye.
no, I almost forgot. Next Thursday, Juneteenth, I am super excited because our next conversation with creatives is called Photoshop versus Canva. That's right. That's right. We talk about it. We talk about the differences in the designers, and we're gonna bring everybody to the flow, and we're gonna have a real good conversation. So I got some Canva people, I got some Photoshop people. We're gonna talk the differences. So y'all join us Juneteenth at 8 p.m. Same place, same time. Until next time, y'all stay creative. Talk to y'all later.